I want to say this. I'm not by no means do I have anything against Breakfast Club. You know, in my field, that's a platform that I've looked up to for years. Outside of the drama, Angela Yee. Shout out to Angela Yee. Shout out to the OG DJ Envy, the OG Charlamagne. We still get that version sometimes, but when it comes to some people, allegedly there is problems. But this is what I would like to say. Of course, they're going to. Everybody's like, well, don't you think if that's what they meant, they would have said this or that? Of course, they finna play the field. It's radio. The way radio works is you don't speak about what happened the day before. You don't speak about what happened on tape. You kind of just roll with the day. It's not a thing where it's a continuation or it's a reality show or it's some online Twitter account or spaces, you can go on here every single day and you're going to continue to talk about the same thing. No, the business is going to be handled. But my problem is Lauren LaRosa, as the senior news producer for the Breakfast Club, if you're going to constantly report on something and then reporting from a journalist standpoint, we typically cover all angles and aspects. Now, I see that you try to double down and say, well, I'm only taking this from speculation of this or taking speculation of that. No, 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 no. That's not what we're gonna do here. We're not gonna lie and try to half report it for the sake of it still coming off like we are a credible, media personality or a journalist. A journalist is not going to be biased in any situation. So if you can't report on that without giving it the full story or without putting out your co-host and was like, well, you know, we did, well, I'm not going to say we, but y'all did throw out there that, this woman has alleged schizophrenia and whatever, and she's dealing with this and that. And, just so happened after a particular artist said all of that, the receipts and things started to come out of stylists that were stealing, that was doing this and that, friends that was opening businesses in other people's names. All this is alleged with Gotti. Every single thing I'm saying is alleged. But you can go out there and do your own research and look up those receipts and look up the things that I'm talking about. You know, After saying all of that, and you're being reported on by one of the largest quote unquote hip hop outlets. And we know Breakfast Club influence. Let's stop. People go to Breakfast Club because of their platform, because of the reach. Now, if there's an artist that's isolated on the outside and you know that this artist is not going to ever come up there and talk to you or sit with you, don't you just think that it would be a better situation if you just don't report on her at all? Because, like I said in the previous live a few minutes ago, we didn't report anything on the accomplishments. We didn't report anything on what the tour grossed or any of that, or how she's the first to do anything. We didn't report on any of that. But what we reported on is a series of tweets between her and another artist. But you told that same artist to get in the booth. Well, you told another artist that was beefing with that artist to get in the booth. Hence JT. Y'all told JT to get in the booth. JT put out her diss track, and nobody likes the diss track. Allegedly, it's trash. Y'all get up there and rate the bars. It's trash. So it ain't even just about Nicki. And we have seen this since Cardi has became hot. Whatever her affiliation was, allegedly with the Breakfast Club, or however her label allegedly has ties to the Breakfast Club, you know, these things, I feel like these things are real. And maybe if it's not even the Breakfast Club, maybe if it's hosts that is working for that station, because you got to think that's a corporation at the end of the day. That's a business. Their number's going to remain. But we're talking about the people that's holding the seat. So it has nothing to do with iHeart or anything like that. Power 105. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's about the people that's holding the seats and about the way that they're reporting on it. If we want to really break it down and go back, let's go back to Lil Kim. Let's go back to when Kim was like, when Nicki was on the rise and Kim was phasing out. Charlamagne was all team Nicki. You know, Kim would come up that they was disrespecting her. You know, she's delusional. She's this, that, and the third. Now, yes, Nicki showed her love, so she was delusional on that part. But it was all a point of, okay, let me push Kim. Let's push Kim to the left. and let's make sure that Nicki get the rise that she need, right? Same thing transpired in 2017 when it came to Nicki Minaj. You know, Remy got out. I guess Remy felt the way that I don't know what the fuck Remy problem was. She said Nicki was throwing subs on the Ray Shimmer record. You know, a couple other freestyles Nicki had to put out at the time. Then that's when Nicki came out with the no love shit. Her and Gucci made, you know, surprisingly, the person that they was trying to use yesterday as a ploy. You know, this is the person that allegedly, this is the person that, you know, she did a song with. The Nokia shit came out. That's with the whole diss about I'm the iPhone, you the Nokia. That's when Sheetha came out. Sheetha came out. It was over the Nas beat. We all know that it didn't get cleared. So the only place that lives today is probably somewhere in the search engine of YouTube and on SoundCloud. Now, we knew that Sheetha came out. Then it was like, okay, they had Summer Jam, the Hot 97 Summer Jam. You had Yo Yo, you had Lady of Rage, you had Queen Latifah, you had MC Light, you had Kim, you had Cardi, you had Young Ma, you had all of these female artists come on stage and perform, and it was about unity and you know this and that. But then, not even 2 seconds later, there's an obituary with Onika fucking Tanya Mirage picture on it, and you acting like it's a funeral at Summer Jam, right? Okay, so we did that. We continued to push Cardi. Let's the rise of Cardi, the rise of Cardi. She's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. Then all these other female artists just start coming out. All of these other labels will start popping up, and they start giving people deals and signing females and doing this. Then when they turned the eye off of one on the stove and moved to another eye, and certain artists started to, I guess, get some notoriety, get some climb, or get some notoriety. I'll leave it at that. You know, the buck stopped with Cardi. The releases stopped. The immediate response from music stopped. You know, it was we can wait 7 years and she can just drop a new album. Hence the 2025. Now a new album is out. Then this is where all this shit started from. Like we didn't report that she was on Spaces saying, you know, arguing with a bar because you ain't talking to nobody else. You gonna outsell Megan? You gonna outsell Lotto? You gonna outsell Glorilla? Glorilla was the last one to release. That's your home. These are your friends. So when you're talking to this fan and you're saying, I'm going to outsell, you're going to outsell who in particular? That's what we want. That's what we as the people wanted to know. But we as the people with a brain, you know, Charlemagne said that the people that support Nicki don't know how to do basic math. But nah, these niggas they throw the rock and hide their hand. What y'all was doing was it was a bait. You thought that album was gonna outsell. That's where all of the promotion came in from. That's where all of that. Let me get out here on the street so I can promote this and do that. Yo, great rollout for Cardi. It has nothing to do with Cardi, but the thing is, you said you was gonna outsell. Now, whether you thought that was something that would have just went under the radar, or you thought Nicki would never address it, you gotta know Nicki gonna get her digs in when she can. You said you was gonna outsell her. She ain't say shit your entire release week. The week during she waited till the tracking week was over. When the numbers came out, she got on Twitter and she continued to go at who she was going at, and then she included you. You know, I don't understand what the problem is. But instead, what we have found a way to do, once again, is to report on Nicki and continue to report on Nicki weeks later as this angry black woman that is miserable. She's allegedly schizophrenic. You know, she's a hater. She don't see other females rise. All of this, we're back to this. After all of that, subject comes right back around to that. And you know what I really hope Nicki Minaj realizes, it just continues to show that you are indeed exactly who the fuck you think you are. Y'all have a good day. Nicki, I love you. Cardi, shout out to you. Cause we ain't hating. But the facts of the fucking matter is the facts of the matter. All that rah-rah never was the icon issue. Hoppers bizarre. I'm covering the icon issue. Yeah, I got issues.